Let me get you guys posted to Twitter here. Now, I am just going on the fly here, so if this presentation isn't super organized, that's why. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is Oregon's statistics on their overdose rates. Now, the reason why this is important is because they're using these statistics to inform their public health policy and development of those policies. The problem is, looking through all of their vital statistics tables, they are not tracking the same set of variables nor the same subset of variables within those variables, and I'll explain that in a minute. I'm just going to give you kind of an outline of what I'm seeing in the data here. Because they're not tracking the same variables year over year, it's going to make it very difficult to paint a picture that is consistent. Now, because of that, until this data is fixed, I don't think they should be making or developing any public health policy surrounding these numbers. They are not tallied correctly. This is a huge problem. This is what they're basing their draconian policies on, and deciding that they're just going to force taper all these Medicaid patients off of their meds, and it's probably going to go further than that at some point too if this doesn't get stopped here. So I'll give you some examples. Each year has a table. I'll post the link to the vital statistics tables on this broadcast after I'm done broadcasting. And when I am done with the data, I will post my spreadsheet that is both tallying this as well as I can and showing you the differences in the variables that they're using year over year in an Excel spreadsheet so that you can actually visualize it. Right now I'm going to read it off to you, so it's going to be harder for you to visualize, but so their vital statistics tables for unintentional overdoses starts in 1998. That's the last year that we have, or the first year that we have data for. The last year is 2016. But in the first year, 1998, which is table number 6-21, they track by gender. They track by age, and I'm going to read off the ages to you. The ages are 0 to 4, 5 to 14, 15 to 24, 25 to 34, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, 65 to 74, 75 to 84, and 85 plus. And some of these are significant because they're not even tracking the same sub-variables within, say, the age variable in some of these years. So that's why I'm reading off some of these. The other thing that they track in 1998 is race and ethnicity. You've got white, African American, Indian, Chinese, and Japanese, other Asian and Pacific, Islander, other and not stated, and Hispanic. You've also got years of education, 9th grade, and below. You've got 9th through 11th, 12th, 13th through 15th, 16, 17 plus, and not stated. Then under other variables, we have some very nominally parsed information. Other variables, we have alcoholic dependence syndrome, chronic alcoholic liver disease, other alcoholic disorders, drug psychosis, abuse, and dependence. And that's all together in one. Unintended injuries is the next. Suicides, undetermined manner is the last. So I'm not sure what falls under undetermined manner. You would think that the medical examiner would figure that out, but apparently not. Now, in 1999, remember, this is just the next year. This is 1999 now. We're on table 6-16. The gender is not provided. Now it's tracking it by county of residence. We've got Baker, Benton, Clackamas, Clatsop, Columbia, Coos, Crook, Curry, Deschutes, Douglas, Hood River, Jackson, Jefferson, Josephine, Klamath, Lake, Lane, Lincoln, Lynn, Malheur, Marion, Morrow, Multnomah, Polk, Tillamook, Umatilla, Union, Wallowa, Wasco, Washington, and Yamhill. There are no other variables that are tracked except when you get down to the end where it says other variables. And that's, again, chronic alcoholic liver disease, other alcohol-induced opioid abuse, other drug abuse, and it's changing. You can see that this is changing from the year before. Unintended injuries, suicides, undetermined intent. So on line item number 3 in 1998, it said other alcoholic disorders. Now, under other variables for 1999, it's saying opioid abuse, okay, and then other drug abuse. So those are not the same variables. And it gets better. Year 2000, table 6-15. It's again tracking gender, male and female. The county of residence is not provided. The age ranges are 18 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, 65 to 74, 75 to 84, and 85 plus, whereas in 1999 or 1998, they're tracking 0 to 4, 5 to 14, 15 to 24, 25 to 34, 45, and on it goes. It's not the same age ranges. It's not the same age ranges even. It's not the same variables. Now, we go down, and this one's actually tracking ethnicity. We've got, and again, it's different. White, African American, Indian, Chinese, and Japanese, other Asian and Pacific Islander, other NS, and Hispanic. There's no other not stated now. Years of education are the same as 1998, but other variables, now it's saying, okay, so that says the same as 1999, but that will change down the road. So let's go to 2001. 2001, table 6-16. Gender, again, is not provided. We're tracking this by county of residence again, and the counties are different. We've got Baker, Benton, Clackamas, Clatsop, Columbia, Coos, Crook, Curry, Deschutes, Douglas, Grant, Harney, Hood River, Jackson, Jefferson, Josephine, Klamath, Lake, Lane, Lincoln, Lynn, Malheur, Marion, Morrow, Multnomah, Polk, Tillamook, Umatilla, Union, Wallowa, Wasco, Washington, and Yamhill. So there's 3 or 2 on here that weren't on here before. Now let's scroll down to other variables. The rest wasn't provided. Age, race, years of education. None of that was provided. Just the county of residence and these other variables, which is the same as year 2000. Okay, so now we're going to go to 2002, and I'm reading these off to you because it's important. I want you guys to see the deception in this. The next one is 2002. It's table 6-16 again. Some of the years have different table numbers, but they're all from the unintentional overdose tables. They're numbered differently because they can't even number them the same for whatever reason. It's probably because they have other things that they're tracking their statistics that took up that other table beforehand or something. But so now, again, 2002, they're tracking by county of residence. I'm not going to read these off. It's pretty much the same as 1999. So there's a couple that are missing from the last year, 2001, that we just read off. Again, age not provided, race not provided, years of education not provided. Other variables, again, are the same as the year before. Now let's go to 2003. Again, it's by county of residence. Gender's not provided. Table 6-16 again. The rest is not provided except for other variables. And let's go to 2005. Oh, I'm sorry, 2004. 2004, table 6-16 again. Gender not provided. County of residence. Baker, Benton, Clackamas, Clatsop, Columbia, Coos, Crook, Curry, Deschutes, Douglas, Grant, Harney, Hood River, Jackson, Jefferson, Josephine, Klamath, Lake, Lane, Lincoln, Lynn, Malheur, Marion, Morrow, Multnomah, Polk, Sherman, Tillamook, Umatilla, Union, Wallowa, Wasco, Washington, Wheeler, and Yamhill. There's far more. There's at least 3-4 more on here than the year before. Okay, so do you see how I'm saying even within their sub-variables, they're not even tracking those correctly? Their variables and sub-variables are all different for each year. Now, let's go to 2005. We've basically got almost the same amount of counties here. There's only one missing. I'm not sure which it is. I haven't done a statistical analysis on that yet, which ones got added, which didn't. So I'm just going to skip over this. So I'm going to try to give you guys the most juicy pieces here. Now, except 2005, this is where it starts getting interesting. In 2005, even though they're tracking some of the same counties, under other variables, now we have chronic alcohol liver disease, other alcohol-induced, opioid use. Opioid use, not abuse, opioid use. The other one was opioid abuse. We've got other drug-induced, we've got unintended injuries, we've got suicide and undetermined intent. This is bizarre. I have never seen anything like this. My 13-year-old could do better than this. Now, it continues with these ones that are tracked by county as opioid use. 2006, same thing. Most of the counties are there that were in the year 2004, but there's one missing. Now, in 2007, they begin tracking by gender again. This is table 6-17. Gender, county of residence is not provided. The ages are provided. And they go from 15 to 17, 18 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, 65 to 74, 75 to 84, 85 plus. Race, ethnicity, white only, black only. Again, it's different. American Indian only, Asian only, Pacific Islander only. Other, NS, 2 or more races, Hispanic. Years of education, less than 12 years. Again, that's different. The next one, high school graduate or GED. The next one, some college, bachelor degree, master degree, doc or pro degree, not stated. Other variables. Chronic alcoholic liver disease, other alcohol-induced, opioid use, other drug-induced, unintended injuries, suicides, undetermined intent. So none of these are the same year over year. This is what I'm trying to paint a picture of for you guys. Now, this is why it's been difficult for me to paint a picture with these statistics that they have provided on their website, OHA's website, because they're not tracking them the same year over year. Now, I'm going to move on to year 2010, because then it changes drastically. Again, drastically. This is where they almost start including everything. And actually, it's not 2000. Well, no, it is 2010. Oh, okay. Interesting. Let me look at this. Huh. All right. So 2010, they start tracking, this is table 6-34, the gender, male, female, no county of residence, ages 0 to 4, 5 to 14, 15 to 24, 25 to 34, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, 65 to 74, 75 to 84, and 85 plus. Race, white, African American. Again, instead of black only or white only, it's white or African American. Not a huge deal, but it's still, come on. Indian, Chinese, and Japanese, other Asian and Pacific, Islander, other not stated, and Hispanic is on there again. Now we've got years of education, and, hold on, my screen just got messed up. And it's showing, again, a different set of variables, less than 9 to 11, 12, 13 to 15, 16, 17 plus, and not stated. Now when you go to other variables now, it explodes. It gets a lot bigger. It gets a lot bigger. So now under other variables, now they start parsing it out a little bit more, and even still, it's still nominal. It's still crap, but they at least almost look like they're making an effort, even though they're really not. At least it doesn't appear that way to me. So now we have mental and behavioral disorders due to psychoactive substance use. We've got alcohol, opioids, cannabinoids, sedatives, hypnotics, cocaine, other stimulants, hallucinogens, tobacco, volatile solvents, and other multiple psychoactive substances. That's all under mental and behavioral disorders. Now, on the second master variable here, we've got under other variables, we've got unintentional overdose poisoning, which is what we want to look at, right? And then we've got intentional self-poisoning, and then we've got assault by undetermined intent. Assault by poisoning, undetermined intent. So under unintentional overdoses and poisoning, we've got non-opioid analgesics, antipyretics, etc. We've got psychotropic, sedative, hypnotic drugs. We've got narcotics and hallucinogens together. We've got other and unspecified drugs. We have alcohol. We have organic solvents and halogenated HC, carbon monoxide and other gases, pesticides, and other chemicals and substances. Now it starts to remain almost consistent, except for in 2011, they start tracking it by county again with no other data. Okay, so my question with these years where they're counting by county, how do we know what people are overdosing on? What are they overdosing on? Are they overdosing on alcohol? Are they overdosing on opioids? Are they overdosing on benzos? What are they overdosing on? This is what they're basing their policy on. I want to know what they're overdosing on. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. For those ones, and even for these ones that are tracked, I mean, they're putting narcotics along with hallucinogens. What the hell is that? That's bizarre. So another problem I have with this is that I have seen charts that OHA has presented to their work groups that had heroin broken out from other opioids. Now, we do not see that one time in any of these vital statistics for any of these years. Where did they get that data? If they have heroin broken out in their own graphs, where did they source that data? Because it's not tracked here. Where is the data? This is supposed to be public, and it's not. This is garbage. This is what they call garbage in, garbage out. You're not going to get anything out of this because half the time they're not even tracking what people are overdosing on. How are you supposed to base your policy on that? Which means they're not basing their policy on that. And even if they were basing their policy on their own internal data that they didn't make public, that they're breaking out of all these other variables, then the public should have those. Whether this is deception, it's wrong. Whether it's incompetence, then you shouldn't be making public health policy. If you're that incompetent, you can't even track the same variables year over year. Are you kidding me? This is what is driving this in Oregon? This is a mess. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm a little, aggravated here, but I've been trying to dig into this for months, and I finally got this ridiculous table up that just doesn't make any sense, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to pull that stuff out of it and have it make any sense. So basically what is going to happen is I'm probably going to have to request that data. And I have a plan for that, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but they have the data. There's no way they don't have the data. If they have their own charts that show heroin parsed out from other opioids, like RX opioids, then they have it somewhere. They do. They have it somewhere. They probably have all of it somewhere. I want to see what it is. I want to see what it's really saying, and then I want to compare it to this crap and see if what the big difference is. What are they hiding? What are they hiding? Something's going on here that's not proper. I have never seen statistics done this way. I'm not a statistician, but I'm also not retarded, and I can tell that something is wrong here. Something's very wrong here. So they do start tracking these different, the more expanded variables from 2012 until 2016, except, that's great. That's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5 years of maybe 6 years. Actually, if you count 2010, that's 6 years of data that you can put together as having the same variables. But what about all the other years? What about those? I mean, that's kind of important information. We also know that there's trends in the data that, and I'm not sure where to look for this information. I probably have it somewhere, but for a long time, from I think 2000 to 2006, methadone maintenance and methadone prescribed for pain was actually driving a lot of the overdoses, and then it started to kind of taper off. So that's interesting too. That's another reason why we need properly parsed data. We need to know which meds or which drugs are causing the most harm, and then base our public policy on that. Well, that's not what's happening here. That's not what's happening. So, OHA, I invite you to share your data with me and the community. Otherwise, I'm going to keep banging away on this, and I'm going to find whatever I'm going to find. And whoever else bangs away on it is going to find what they're going to find. And we're going to challenge you. I'm challenging you right now. This is unacceptable. Once I get this template done, I have a call to action for the community. I'm going to create a template, and I'm going to ask you guys in each of your states to go through and at least get me the vital statistics tables for each state. We're going to do this on our own, because none of this is right. As far as I know, the CDC data is all predicated on the vital statistics for each state. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I'm pretty sure that's how they got their national statistics, which are also wrong. Again, I'd like to point out for those just now getting on this kind of a periscope that the CDC, 4 researchers at the CDC actually admitted that their numbers were greatly inflated for overdose deaths. Some people are being counted twice because they died of polypharmacy, which means they had more than one drug in their system. They're counting them multiple times. Okay? Now, the amount of people that actually died from RX truly prescribed medications was something like 14,440 for 2017, and a lot of those people were not prescribed the medication. They were stolen, they were diverted, they were this or that, and they were polypharmacy, most of them. Okay, so the real number for RX deaths is much, much lower. Okay, this is a fentanyl crisis. This is a heroin crisis. It's not an RX med crisis. So, as far as I know, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory meds like ibuprofen kill more people annually than died from RX prescription drugs or opioids in 2017. 16,000 people died in 2017 from that. That's more than 14,440 that died from RX overdoses who probably weren't prescribed the medication in the first place. Okay? If you're being followed by a doctor, you're much less likely to overdose. Especially people like us that need our medications, that are sick, that have other considerations like me. I have lung disease. I'm not going to take extra of my meds. That's stupid. I could die. Do you know how stupid that would be? People like me do not do that, okay? And that's why we don't die as often. And we're not out there doing fentanyl and heroin and all that stuff. I'm sorry I'm not seeing all your comments. I will go back and read them, if I seem frustrated today, it's because looking at this stuff, it really aggravates me. This should not be happening. I should not have to go and request this data as a private citizen who is interested in why they are making these policies that affect people like me. I should not have to do that. It should already be there. I should not have to crunch these numbers by myself because they didn't get it right. Okay? And again, it's either deceptive, in which case they need to be called out, or they're incompetent, in which case they need to be called out. It's one or the other, and even so, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's bad. It's bad. This is not professional. This is not what should be coming out of a health authority for a state. It's unacceptable. So I just want to shine some light on that because it really frustrates me, and I want to give you guys an idea of what we're really dealing with here as far as how we're going to expose this. This is how. This is how. You can make data lie, but if you provide your data tables and you tally them properly and you make it all transparent, someone else can go and do the same tally and come up with the same number. That's not going to happen here because they're not doing it right. Okay? Now, if I did this, I would be being honest because, hey, it impacts my community, and it impacts me, it impacts my kid. I'm not going to lie about something like this. So, and I always provide my data tables whenever I make graphs, and I do a screenshot of them, and people can tally them themselves and see that the data is not lying. The graphs are not lying. Okay, and that's what I intend to do with this, and also the national numbers at some point. But we do need to get those vital statistics for every state. If you guys have time on your hands, go look up the vital statistics tables for each state or whatever state you're in. Send them to me. You can send them to darksideofthespoony@gmail.com, or you can DM me and I'll send you my email address there, and I'll also post it on the bottom of this broadcast on Twitter when I'm done broadcasting. And I'm on Twitter at @process_x. I'm going to end it here. But I hope that this is helpful for you guys and that you guys can kind of see what's going on in Oregon as far as their data. This is just their data. This isn't even talking about all the horrid policies that they're trying to, put forward. We barely touched on that stuff. There's much more. So anyway, you guys take care. I'm going to get going, and I hope you're all well. If I haven't been on in a while, this is why. I'm very busy. I'm trying to figure this stuff out, and anyone that wants to help, you're welcome to. And I'm setting up some servers for the community to loosely collaborate with our team. So we'll talk about that probably next week. It should be done in the next week or two. And then we'll have somewhere for everyone to post and curate information from their beds, okay? That can help us, our team, and the whole community. But that information will be public, so anyone can get on it, and they can look through it and look through the curated information. But anyway, yeah. So I love you guys, and I'll probably get back on, I'm guessing next week sometime. But I do love you. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye.